Welcome to Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I'm your host, Lipstickpaddy, and today is a special news item. Is COVID-19 affecting Kickstarter board games? As there's been lots of talk about that in the last week, so we're going to address it today and try to debunk it. We'll go straight to the evidence at hand right after this.
The next social stretch goal on KiS 102.4 is the 250 subscriber. Subscribe today and unlock new music that will change the music in all the videos in the future. You could be part of the evolution.
Okay, there's a lot of talk in the industry about Kickstarter campaigns. Stormmeyer Games did an article this week asking, is it now okay time to launch a Kickstarter campaign? Now, people are saying, well, there are games cancelling because of the coronavirus, people not got a salary, etc, etc, etc. I'll give you my opinion in a minute. Let's just see what Jamie Stegmaier has to say here, because he's been talking about this in the past month or so, but he's basically saying that, you know, cash flow is down. We don't know what the future's uncertain, so we're not going to be spending our money, and etc. So he's basically saying, no, you really need to think about it. No, you shouldn't be. So what do I think about this? Well, frankly, the people that are dropping $100 on a Kickstarter, they are people that have got money in the bank anyway, most likely. I mean, if you're paying with disposable income, like I don't have any money in the bank, I can put this on my credit card. If you're that kind of person, then fine, but I don't think it's going to stop you backing a project that you've fallen in love with. Now, this next article here, and I'm going to put all these articles in the description if you want to look at them deeply. How is the coronavirus affecting crowdfunding community? Now, this is an interesting article from BackerKit and Amber Humphrey. This comes from last week, and she had some really good points also to make. She mentions games that are funding, and I'm going to give you some of my news also of funding after. I just want to get this evidence out of the way first. Obviously, factories are closing, yes, so there's going to be delays. Yeah, we understand that. We don't mind delays. We don't, and it gives devs more time to work on projects. Because as in the design world, we always say that there is never, a deadline that is. There's no such thing as a deadline. If you have to have it in by Friday, you'll finish it for Friday. If you have to have it finished in a year, you'll finish it in a year. The deadline is just the time when you have to stop, because design never stops. That's how it is. Look at the Madara campaign. That was very late, but the design kept going through the lateness and it got better and better. So are crowdfunding platforms responding? Kickstarter is giving you more time when a campaign ends to pay for it. So Kickstarter already are reacting. We know that already. So this is kind of like more stories about it, but let me jump to this big one here now. This is where all this conjecture can be thrown away, and we're looking at raw statistics here now. This is coming from biggercake.com. I have an analysis from Yavin Tros, who's a fantastic article this now, just to let people know where we are. Now, what he's saying is, are backers still supporting Kickstarter campaigns? Yes, of course they are. Of course they are. In fact, these are the actual numbers of people backing. We can see some giant Kickstarters coming out of here. But this is irrelevant for 2020 if we cannot compare it to 2019. So as you can see down here, here we go. 2019 in the red. What are we seeing? 2020 is a better year, and if we look at March, it's almost the same as last year. So there is no evidence to suggest that the amount of money going into Kickstarter on games, board games, is declining. Not at all. It's exactly the same or better than last year. That is the bottom line. So, yeah, should people delay their launch? Well, no, the money is still there. The money is absolutely still there. And look at these points to consider. Online commerce will decrease because of the financial panic. If you think that, then it's better to delay. I don't think that at all. Credit card debt, maybe, if those putting it on a credit card, those with less disposable income, maybe, but if you've got money saved up, if you're $100, if you're spending $1,000 on Kickstarter a year, then this is not going to affect you. Not affecting me. Online commerce will increase because people stay home. Then it's better to launch earlier. That's something also to consider. The financial crisis will be short, so better to delay it. Maybe. Remember, these are just questions you should be asking. The world will go into a recession. It's going to get worse, so better to launch early. And prices of manufacturing and fulfillment will go down for a year, so better to launch early. This article also looks at people cancelling their campaign, and I can tell you now, the reason people cancel a campaign is because the project on the last day, how the stretch goals go, or how the updates go, what the state of the project on the last day is the reason people pull out, not because they've not got money. That's how it is. You're not backing a project because you can't afford it. You're backing a project because you want to know all the updates, and you're pulling out because you're not happy with how the project went. Talks about currencies. Am I missing anything about currencies? Well, they say put it in US dollars. We've got games in US dollars, Canadian dollars, and euros, and they've all done fantastically well. So, though, that's not doing anything at the minute. And yeah, can you say something positive? Yeah, Kickstarter is one of the strongest communities online. Totally is. Says markets balance themselves out. Yes, it will end eventually. Rada. So the bottom line here with all the analysis is that the spending on Kickstarter is the same or better. So what do I think of this? Well, we have had some Kickstarters that almost failed. Games this week. Ark and Shield did not even do 24 hours. This was nothing to do with COVID-19. This was more about their Kickstarter campaign, how they set their information out, lack of information, and lack of, just naively coming to Kickstarter without enough information, basically. And they're going to put their campaign out once they've sorted that out. It's clear if you go to the Kickstarter page, which is still up, they have explained why they are doing it. It is not related to COVID-19. Now, also on Kickstarter, Wolfenstein has delayed. Okay, it's delayed. that's because of the climate. The game simply anyway doesn't look impressive at all. Yeah, that still needs work to impress us at the station. This week we had another game pull off from AEG. Now that game, Lost Atlantis, cancelled, even though it had funded. It had funded. And they simply said, we didn't get enough interest from the beginning. Now, if you go down the Kickstarter page, look, they've actually deleted the page. You can't even see what the project was like. But we can tell you that it was an absolute mess. First of all, the FAQ is repeating itself. What is VAT? VAT question. PayPal question. PayPal question. It's just like heavy with questions here that just not perceiving. Anyway, the game just didn't look anything special. It just looked a mess. They had quotes from people saying this is kind of a weird game and stuff, and minis didn't look top notch anyway. It looked weird. The game, even by the devs themselves, said you didn't even need a board game. You didn't need the board. You can play it on any surface. And it just looked nothing special. It just looked retail on Kickstarter, nothing really going for it. It was just dull as dishwater. Now, Sanctuary the Keeper's going like gangbusters. It's already blown through most of stretch goals already. This game's doing fantastic for a $38 game. This is not $100, this is $38. 2,500 backers after a couple of days is fantastic. Down to Hell is bust through its stretch goal twice from the pledge now, 700 backers. This is also what we've covered on it, and this is doing well as well. This is looking great. Now Starlight, which is in Canadian dollars, is doing amazing. 4,700 backers. And the reason is because it's a fantastic project. I'm in love with this game. I've instantly backed it. It's full of everything. Check my video out why I'm so excited about Starlight. And we'll go one more example. Chronicles of Crime, the Millennium series from Lucky Duck, made over $1 million, and it broke its own personal best by getting over 13,000 backers. This was incredible. Amazing. Then the reason was because this project was amazing. Now, yes, we had 900 people with the single pledge. I've heard from a few of them. They do hope to upgrade during the pledge manager. So there are people that are budgeting, yes, but you've always got $1 pledge option or the lowest pledge option. But look at this, the $100 pledge, 2,500 backers. So a large percentage of backers were the one I went for, the 79, and I do hope to up my pledge in the pledge manager too. I'm budgeting because it's a crazy month like February. So that's the bottom line. The bottom line is we as consumers are getting more savvy when it comes to Kickstarter. We can see if a Kickstarter is worth backing or not. We have so much coverage. We have YouTubers covering it. You have KiS 102.4 analyzing them for you. We do this and we monitor them. For example, at the minute we have the second printing of the let me bring up the thing again. Memories going. Who goes there? And even though this is doing really well, we don't recommend it on the channel because they've not addressed the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room being the infected. That's one of the biggest criticisms. When you get infected in that game, you don't want to infect any other players because the other players find it more difficult to win if they're all surviving. They haven't changed that at all, and it's the one thing that we're not backing it for that. But a lot of backers are ignoring that anyway. But the reason games are cancelling, the reason they're delaying, is because of the elephant in the room. If we don't talk about the elephant in the room, we all know it's there. So let's get it out of the way and talk about it. The elephant in the room is Frosthaven. Frosthaven coming next week. This is the equivalent of the next GTA coming out on a computer game, in the computer game industry. It's like J.K. Rowling getting resurrected and bringing Lord of the Rings 2 out in a book. It's like the next season of what's it called? The sci-fi game. Sci-fi TV series. Put a picture up here. Yeah, imagine the greatest TV series and it gets a new season. Right, so Frosthaven, number one board game, and the sequel is coming out. This is the big panic. This is why games are cancelling, because they don't want to go up against this. They're not in the same league as the games that are on Kickstarter at the minute that are pulling the money in. We're talking about Premier League games. They're in their own league. There are other Kickstarter games that just cannot compete with these monsters that are currently on Kickstarter. And we know they're all monsters. We've been covering them since February, and it's just been epic. And if you think Kickstarter is actually going down in popularity, it's getting affected by COVID-19, let me give you one question. If I give you $1,000, can you go on Kickstarter and spend it inside 5 minutes? The answer's yes, of course. I'm totally gonna go on Kickstarter and spend it. There's tons of good games on Kickstarter right now. If you gave me $1,000, I could totally just go and burn it on projects that I know are there. Yeah, no worries. You know, in a bad month, you'd say, I'll give you $500, can you spend it? I'll give you $100, can you spend it? We've never had a month in Kickstarter where you can't instantly go and spend someone's $100 on a game just to prove that there's stuff going on Kickstarter. Because at the end of the day, this is where miracles happen. It is the dream ticket. It's where dreams come true for developers. It's where the innovation is at its best. And put next to retail. Are you tired? Are you bored of retail? Get bored of retail? Yeah. If there's anything going to suffer in COVID-19, it's the retail space. But we don't cover the retail space. We are Kickstarter only here. And trust me, what we're seeing at the minute is everything is A-okay. And if Frosthaven comes out next week and it burns for 1 million in its first day, then it's all hunky-dory. And we can forget all about these worries. And just know that these games cancelling their projects, delaying their project, is because the competition's too stiff. I mean, who wants to go up against Frosthaven? Well, we got some games this week that launched that thought they were going up against Frosthaven, and they're doing well. So they've got balls. So we'll just have to see. The end of the day, Kickstarter's more competitive. Us backers are getting more savvy. And you just can't put a game on Kickstarter these days and hope to get away with it. Because we expect a lot more in 2020. And that's a really good thing. That they need to step up to the plate. Into the Premier League, where that is where our money is going, and that is why Kickstarter will be fine. You've been listening to Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I'm Lipstickpaddy, your host. You take care, stay safe, and bye-bye for now.